All right, good morning, guys. So this is just a reminder that there will be no Zoom today, but I will give you guys some instructions on how to do today's section of the worksheet. So I left you guys doing number 3 as homework. And so the question was, a woman with sickle cell disease has children with a man who has sickle cell trait. Answer the following questions. And so the first question, it says, what are the genotypes of the parents? So sickle cell disease means that the mother inherited both of those genes, whereas the dad just has the trait. So that is normal with a so that's heterozygous. Sorry. All right. What is the genetic makeup of the gametes that the mother can produce? All this is saying is what is the gamete that could possibly be inherited? Well, she can only give S. What is the genetic makeup of the gametes for the father? So he can either pass on the A or pass on the S. So in the Punnett square, show all the possible genotypes of their children, then summarize the genotype and phenotype ratios of the possible offspring. Same deal as yesterday. You click it, hit edit, and I will zoom in. Get my little scribble tool. All right, so we know that dad is going to be AS, and we know that the mom, let me undo that, is going to be S. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and combine those. All right. So I know I'm going to get a kid that is thinking, well, how could someone with sickle cell survive? There are medications currently that allows people to survive without pain. You have to understand that sickle cell anemia makes those little crescent shapes, and so they do kind of have pointy ends, and so they can really feel like pain in their veins that are attached to nerves if any of those points kind of on the cell like get stuck going through another capillary. So there are ways to manage the pain for sickle cell anemia. So this is still a possibility. So just wanted to clarify that for you guys. Okay. So now we got to do the genotypic ratios. And so in this case, for having the trait, that is going to be 50%. And to have sickle cell, those offspring have a 50% chance of doing that. Okay, in terms of the phenotypic, okay, so there's going to be 50%, you would just say sickle cell trait. And 50% will have sickle cell disease. Okay, so what are the chances that any one of these couple's children will have sickle cell disease? So you know that there are 2 here, so that should be 50%. Right? So then the last question is saying, if this couple moves to the lowlands of East Africa and has children, which of their children would more likely to survive? Explain your answer. The video that we watched yesterday, the lowlands of East Africa has a lot of moisture, and mosquitoes just love that area. And remember, mosquitoes are the ones that are carrying malaria. So, based on this, and based on what we saw yesterday, which of their children would be more likely to survive? And I need you guys to explain your answer. So before you move on to the next question, I need you guys to go ahead and pause the video and make sure that you answered F, and then make sure that's filled in, and then I will also discuss it just to make sure for clarification. So go ahead and pause the video at this time. All right, so I went ahead and filled in, added a little bit of information so that way you guys can kind of get the whole picture here. So if this couple moves to the moist lowlands of East Africa, the family would be exposed to the Anopheles mosquito that transmits the Plasmodium parasite, which then causes malaria. Children who have sickle cell disease have a lethal disease that will be less likely to survive regardless of where they live. Children with sickle cell trait have two advantages. So they have a greater resistance to malaria because that malaria disease is not able to survive in that heterozygous environment, and then they don't have full-blown symptoms of sickle cell disease. So therefore, if they are heterozygous, or if heterozytes are more likely to survive. So if you have something along those lines, and you are on the right track, you do not have to have all the extra information about the parasite and all that. So because we did review that as a class. Okay. So let's actually start with our new part today. So quick thing, I'm going to have you guys review blood type and how to do the Punnett squares. So what you're going to do is you're going to click this video. Yes, it is an Amoeba Sisters. And no, we don't need this ad. So give me a sec.
Build custom industrial machine.
All right. And so the captions will be on. And so the video is going to go in and it's going to explain how blood types work, which is super interesting in terms of like whether you guys even know what your blood type is. So you need to watch all of this video because it will show you how to do a Punnett square for blood types. Okay. And what that means. All right, so do want you guys to review that and make sure you guys understand it. So the thing is that you guys need to watch this. Even if you don't remember how to do blood types, this will review it for you. So you will need to watch this video. And then in humans, the blood type is a result of multiple alleles. So they either have the A-type blood, the B-type blood, or O. So a few simple rules of blood type genetics. So A is dominant over O. B is dominant over O, and A, B are codominant. So now we're starting to get into almost the non-Mendelian genetics. Now the thing is that it's asking you two parents who are heterozygous for type A blood have sickle cell trait have children. Answer the following questions. So what is the genotype of the parents? All right, so on the genotype for the parents, okay, a couple things. So the genotype, if we know that it is heterozygous, it is going to be IA, which I don't have like how to make a smaller a, so I apologize. So IA, and then it's going to be IO, right? And so what I may do is I may make this a lowercase a, because that'll make more sense here in a second. Okay, so IO. But the other thing that they have is they also have the other trait that they have the sickle cell trait. And so that means that they also have AS. So this is their blood type. And then this one is the sickle cell trait gene. So you have to treat it like this is going to be a dihybrid. So this is the first trait. This is the second trait. All right, so then what are the genetic makeups of all the possible gametes that they can produce? All right, so then in this problem, what you would do is you would end up doing the FOIL method. So you would, remember, go first. So this first trait right here, so they have A type, would pair up with with the A. So what it's going to look like is it's going to be, the first trait is going to be I, lowercase a, because that's blood type, but then it's also going to have the A attached to it, okay? So that's going to be your first one. All right, so that was the first, and then we do the outside. So the outside means that it is going to have A-type blood, all right, and then I'm going to go to the outside. It can also inherit the sickle cell trait, okay? And then I'm going to do the I, which is the inside, which means that it's going to be type O blood, which I'm making a lowercase o, and it so this is the inside, so I'm going to attach that to the A. And then the last one in the FOIL stands for the last ones in the genotypes. So then that is going to be IO, because that is going to be that, and attached to the S. So what I did here, just a reminder, is I took these and I distributed them. So this was one gene type, and I crossed that with the sickle cell trait. All right. And so these are my possible gametes that can be inherited. All right. So with that being said, now you're going to complete the dihybrid Punnett square to determine the frequency of phenotypes in the offspring. All right. So I'll start that here in just a second for you guys. Okay, so what I did, guys, is I went ahead and tried to make this a little bit neater so you guys could actually see what to do. I don't expect you guys to go ahead and, do a lot of work and type in all of this, but I made it so that way my handwriting, you guys could see what I was actually writing. And so what I did is from the previous problem, I took all of the possible genotypes. And then what I did is I put them across the top and down the side. So now your task would be to cross these. Just a reminder, so the first one is going to be blood type. So on the inside, you need to put the blood type, okay? And then you need to do the sickle cell trait. So in this case, this guy is going to be, let me get my scribble. So this is going to be I, let me. Maybe. IA, IA, and lowercase a. Man, this is not letting me write. So there's the blood type, and then we would go ahead and since I kind of ran out of room, I'm just gonna attach this A and A down at the bottom. So I kind of ran out of room. So there's two ways to do this. Some of you guys might be tired of doing the scribble thing, which I kind of am because it just looks so awful. So I might grab a text box and put them in here and type. So I'll give you guys those two options, whatever you guys want to do. So just for clarification, this guy right here, so the this genotype would produce a homozygous dominant A-type blood with the homozygous 8 for normal red blood cells. So that's how you would read these charts. So go ahead and you guys can pause the video and go through and finish doing this dihybrid. Once again, you can either write them in, or if you guys wanted to just make a text box and type it in, you guys are more than welcome to do that. So go ahead and pause and finish this dihybrid at this time. All right, welcome back. And so here's the deal. The question is asking to complete the dihybrid. Excuse me. Complete the dihybrid and determine the frequency of the different phenotypes in the offspring. So, oh my gosh, there is so many. So they can have all these different blood types and whether they are normal or if they are sickle cell trait or if they are have sickle cell anemia. So here are all of your options. So after you have completed the table, I need you guys to tell me how many out of 16 are blood type A with normal hemoglobin. Okay, how many of them are blood type A and normal and they have the mutant hemoglobin? So that would be the sickle cell trait. Remember that is AS. And then how many of them have blood type A with sickle cell anemia? And you have to do the same thing for blood type O. So just a reminder, okay, it's wanting you guys to not only give me the ratio, but also to go ahead and put your percentages. So for blood type A, you would do however many out of 16, change that into a percentage. And so you're going to do that for all of these types, okay? So with that being said, that's about 15 minutes of instruction that I'm giving you guys on this video. And so it's a lot to process. And so I'm going to go ahead and have you guys stop there. We will start on Tuesday going through the remainder of this. So just know that we have a lot to do on Tuesday. And I may have to push the assignment back. But like I said, this whole time, I really want you guys to understand this. And so that's why we're kind of taking it slow. So as always, if you guys feel like you can move ahead, by all means, move ahead. But I do want to make sure that everybody understands this because this is such a huge part in terms of genetics and understanding this for your AP exam and just in general. So thank you guys. Just a reminder, I will not be on the Zoom, but I will be on my Remind if you guys have any questions. Thanks, guys.